And now it's time for Ask Rich and Ed, our bite-sized chunk of a podcast.
Ooh, nice. Bite-sized chunks. Like dog food.
We get a lot of listener questions, which we love to answer with insightful views and advice.
Ooh.
Let's see what questions we've got this time, Ed.
Well, Rich, will they be fatuous or inane? Or insightful? Let's make it real.
Boom. This is question 1. This is from Jose de Bossa in Cincinnati. I'm looking to recruit a senior procurement manager for my team. I've found a good candidate who, frankly, is better qualified than me and has far more experience. I'm concerned that if I recruit him, he might become a competitor to me and usurp me from my role. I have therefore rejected his application. Was this the right thing to do?
Oh, Jose, what were you thinking?
You should surround yourself with great people, which is what I do on this podcast.
Me too, as well. So how does that work then?
Hurrah!
Leaders surround themselves with great people.
They do. Even Richard Branson does.
Yeah. Managers fear the people around them in some situations. So get great people, ride on their coattails. You'll be a success. People manager is a key responsibility of a leader, isn't it? And deploying people who are brilliant around you is a sign of a fantastic leader.
Which is why Ed is with me.
Yes, exactly. The thing is, I think, Rich, is that this is so many people feel threatened by other people.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? Bizarre.
You'll get on, by getting great people around you. And obviously, do you think that leaders of big organizations don't have lots of people who are much stronger than them in their functional discipline, or even better than them, but just further back in their career? But they use those people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And leaving that legacy that the team then can take over from you when you do leave is a great thing to have as well. And say, oh, look, I helped the following people. I've helped them up in their career and I got them their first manager job. I got them their first director job or whatever it is. No, Jose, you're all wrong, mate. Stop it.
I made you what you are.
Yeah. So there you go, Jose. See if you can get back in touch with that guy and offer him the job, you fool.
Next question for you, Rich, from Tony Peterson in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. I work in a highly decentralized business with procurement out of control and being done everywhere by everyone.
Oh.
We're using the same suppliers in different sites and with different pricing. I'm looking at introducing rebates across all suppliers to at least get some cash back from suppliers, which I guess I can claim as savings. What is the best approach here, Rich?
My experience of rebates has always been pretty negative. We had a lot of them when I was in the FM industry, and everybody lost visibility of the real pricing, and the stakeholders thought the prices were too high, so they went off piste to find different suppliers, and we had rebates on other rebates for volumes and different sites. And it's not really a saving, is it? Because you're actually getting the money back that you've already paid, unless, of course, it's a rebate that you've negotiated off an existing price, which is fine. So that's great. I guess positives are it's easy to track. It's cash in the bank. You can see it. It's helpful if you've got agreed list prices with clients and then can do a better deal. But generally, I find rebates to be quite tricky. And they might be quite good if you're a very, very immature organization. And as I say, it's just a way of getting cash back into the organization. But yeah, generally negative about rebates. I think you've got a more positive view, Ed, maybe, or not?
I think one of the things that people miss out on when they negotiate is that, say you've got a contract and you're buying, let's say, $1 million worth of stuff, and you negotiate that very hard every year. You've got all the terms and conditions agreed, and you get a price. And say it's, I don't know, $1 an item, you buy $1 million worth of them. I think that there's always value in putting some sort of rebate or value kicker into the contract in case you exceed volume.
A volume kicker, yeah.
And a lot of times when you're negotiating, if you introduce that into your dialogue with a supplier, if it's a quite high number and a high percentage above the expected volume, a lot of the time the suppliers will give you that. And then you might be surprised. Something might take off within your business, and therefore that you'll buy lots more of something. And then you can get the benefit of that rebate. Whereas a lot of time it's lost. You say you're going to spend $1 million, it happens to be $2 million. You just pay the same old price. You don't get any gain for it. So I think in that sort of situation, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think that it disincentivizes stakeholders to like you in procurement. Just the final bit of Tony's question was, what is the best approach here?
If you've got existing pricing, then, as you say, let's see if we can incentivize them to grow the business with you, or grow the volumes, or consolidate volumes with other suppliers, etc. That might be a good approach to do it. So you're reducing your supplier base, fewer suppliers with more volume in. Although there are risks to doing that as well, as we've talked about before. But that might be a way to do it.
From my perspective, I think one is to reinforce with the key suppliers. I know it's not always easy when you've got thousands of suppliers, but the fewer bigger ones where you think that this is happening, I think you have to go after them and reinforce that there's one price for your organisation, subject to local taxes or whatever. There will be some variables in there, but press the suppliers, one or two of the suppliers, to normalise their pricing. Yeah. And then the other one is, I think, is call it out with the stakeholders. Particularly if three sites are getting really poor pricing compared to the one site, go to the other three sites and say, did you realise that this is what this supplier is doing? And because I think often the stakeholder sees you as procurement as interfering negatively. I think look at it as a positive interference and explain to them rationally why the basis for the supplier ripping them off, I think.
The other thing that the company that used to do a lot of rebates that I worked at, there were concerns from the stakeholders. They thought the rebate was going back to procurement, and procurement was just spending the money on parties.
Excellent.
Was one thing. But the other thing that was slightly hilarious was, because our data and systems were so poor and so fragmented, we often had to go to the supplier and ask them nicely what we'd spent with them the previous year. Hello, Mr. Supplier. What can we just confirm what we spent with you last year, and therefore what rebate you owe us? I mean, you could put a positive spin on that and say it built lots of trust.
Or not.
Next one. This is from Edward Sands, short for Scissorhands.
Oh, yes.
In London. My business has just merged, brackets, been taken over by a much larger FTSE 250 company. Their procurement function has 3 times as many people in it as mine, and rather than creating a collaborative environment, we are just being asked for data and contract details and existing strategy and supplier information. Should we go along with these requests, or should we resist? The team think it's inevitable that it will be us who are made redundant at the end of all this. What should we do? Resistance is futile.
Yes. Are you a leader or you're a manager?
Oh, back to that again.
So you fight it to what end?
Yeah.
You fight, you resist, you put your arms around your data, you play secret squirrels. You know what's inevitable? You get made redundant.
Yeah.
Because you're seen as a difficult person to deal with, and therefore if there were roles in the new organisation, you certainly won't get one. Obviously, if you want to be made redundant, be awkward, but maybe they'll just sack you instead for being awkward. But be open. Ask them what they're doing with the data.
Yeah.
Inquire. Go and see the other party. Say, can I come? Can I come over to your office to understand what you're doing, and can I help? Can I come and base myself out of your offices for a few days, and then I can access the data for you and help you. Work with them.
Yeah. Be super helpful. I totally agree. Acting like us and them is not a good use of resource. And I think also, if this is the case, I think both organisations need to be a bit more open about what the future might look like, whether there is going to be headcount reduction or a move to a single location. I think it's just, again, be upfront, be honest about what's going on, because people would rather have certainty, whether it's good news or bad news. They'd rather have certainty than just a fog of nonsense.
I think the thing is, you have to think a little bit about, it sounds like it's already merged here, but when you're going through that process of acquiring another company, you do a lot of due diligence, and sometimes you use third parties, and you might find that the data collection is all part of understanding what's going on, what the potential synergy opportunity is from the merger, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't mean point blank that everybody in your organisation is going to be fired. It might be just data collection. The people who are more likely to lose their jobs are at the top of the tree. If you're a purchasing manager or a purchaser, junior buyer or whatever, you're much more likely to survive that process than the head of procurement, because there can only be one head of procurement probably. So one of the leaders will have to go. They're more likely to be negatively impacted than those further down the tree.
Which reminds me of a manager that I once knew who worked in the risk department, and his name was Hugh Diligence.
Boom, boom.
They were great questions this time, weren't they, Ed?
Oh, they were super duper.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.